Hello, neighbors. Allow me to reintroduce myself. My name is Willie Burnley Jr. I'm a renter living on Winter Hill, and I currently serve as one of your at-large city councilors, and I am running to be your next mayor of Somerville so that we can build a city that is more affordable, accountable, and accessible for all. I love Somerville, from our bustling squares to our festivals, and most importantly, I love our people who care so deeply about this place we call home. Years ago, my love story with this city was almost cut short when my landlord raised my rent by hundreds of dollars and I was displaced. I made a commitment to return back to Winter Hill and organize so that no one would experience the terror of housing insecurity that I did. And although I've made strides to increase affordability, most recently through my successful advocacy along city councilors from Boston and Cambridge to ban the practice of landlords charging brokers' fees to tenants who never hired a broker. This political moment requires us to do more to address the needs of our neighbors. While fascism and federally enforced austerity is on the rise, our neighborhoods are left with crumbling schools, soaring rents, and leaders who fail to fight with the urgency necessary for working people. And we can't afford failure. Somerville deserves a mayor who shows up and takes action on our most pressing issues. One with a record of getting results at the local and state level. A partner who will transform our vision of a thriving city into a reality through community-led development that doesn't lead to displacement. I've been that leader. Over the course of my 2 terms on the council, I've proposed and passed more laws than any of my colleagues, including expansions to tenants' rights, municipal worker benefits, trans rights, zoning changes that bring down the cost of housing, and the Safe Streets Ordinance, which increases safety and accessibility for all road users while increasing transparency regarding changes to our roads. Through passing these laws, I've learned how to navigate city processes in order to make the demands of my constituents a reality by creating goals that are both ambitious and feasible. As a counselor, I've also had a front row seat to see the critical work that hasn't gotten done in a timely manner. From negotiations with our municipal union that paves and cleans our streets, as well as our educators union, whose members support our students, to decisions that haven't been made at all, such as where the permanent building for the Winter Hill School community will be. Somerville deserves decisive leadership, and if you continue to honor me with your votes in this election, I will provide that leadership. 7 years ago, Mayor Curtatone showed this decisiveness when he created the Office of Housing Stability, a department with a single employee, the director, whose role was to build the infrastructure to help residents like me who face displacement and were in search of resources. As the only renter in this race and the only candidate who doesn't take donations from for-profit developers, I know that we must do more to build decommodified housing. That is why, as mayor, I will create the Office of Social Housing with a single director-level employee whose job will be to determine the legal and financial path to leveraging our municipal land, housing acquisition fund, and partnerships with nonprofits like the Community Land Trust to build out a department that can create permanently affordable housing owned by the city. We can also be a city where small businesses thrive rather than face inequitable fees and intolerable permitting processes. In my first few months on the council, I discovered that Somerville was charging tattoo shops far more than the fees in Boston, Cambridge, or even Salem. Through effective advocacy, I convinced the Board of Health to suspend these inequitable fees, saving our small businesses thousands of dollars. Similarly, as the chair of the Licenses and Permits Committee, I've helped many small businesses struggling to receive the necessary inspections to open their doors. But they shouldn't have to hope someone is looking out for them. That's why as mayor, I will do a comprehensive and comparative review of our city's licensing fees and work to streamlining our permitting for small businesses and homeowners seeking to make changes to their homes. This is part of how we create affordability for all. Together, we can create vibrant neighborhoods by implementing citywide composting to reduce waste for rats, increasing grants for local artists to beautify our squares through murals and performances with a 3% tax on Airbnbs, and by building supportive housing for those experiencing chronic homelessness. Together, we can close the gap between our stated values and our reality. If you believe that we can build a stronger, safer, and more sustainable city together, I humbly ask for your vote on September 16th to become the next mayor of Somerville. And if you'd like to get involved with our campaign, join us at willieforsomerville.com. Thank you.